Hi, today I wanted to share a few tips and tactics around saving for a down payment on a house. First thing I'm going to tell you is it's very important to set up a consultation with a mortgage professional myself where we can determine how much you're going to need to save up based on the sales price you're looking to qualify for, what you do qualify for, how much in depth you're looking to make in terms of percentage. That way we can determine what that number is. So we look at the down payment, closing costs, wanting to have an emergency fund, a reserve fund after it's all done and said. So we know what that goal is, what that end number is that you're shooting. Think of it like losing weight. If you set a goal of losing 10 pounds, you're going to get on the scale every few days to see if you're trending in the right direction. And when you eventually hit that goal weight of losing those 10 pounds, that you know you've gotten there. Same thing here. If we determine $25,000, for example, is what you have to save up, you can then each month, each week, see how much closer am I to getting to that 25,000 saved up and knowing that's the number you're going to need. Secondly, once we determine what you need, then I'm going to advise that you go ahead and set that up on an automatic payroll deduction going right into your savings account. Whether that's $300 a paycheck, $500 a paycheck, whatever it is you've determined you can set aside and put away for this goal, you're going to have that automatically set up. That way it's out of sight, out of mind. What tends to happen is after a few months, you won't even miss the money. And the reason being, we tend to just focus on what's going into the checking account because that's where your various expenses, your bills, your groceries, etc. If it's in that account, the savings account that is, you're not going to see it and it's just going to allow to grow over time. Number three, do yourself a favor and do a budget on yourself and look at your last 2 months checking account statements. Where are you spending your money? Are you eating out a lot? Are you going to Starbucks a lot? Do you have maybe some streaming services that you don't even necessarily remember signing up for? So these are things that you could potentially cut back on, save additional monies that way. If you're going out, say, 4 times a month to dinner, maybe you cut that to 3 times a month. And that little bit of savings can make a difference. Starbucks is probably one that is something I see quite often where there's a lot of people that love their Starbucks, so much so that sometimes they're there 5 times a week. If you wanted to simply, let's just be really simplistic here and say your order was $6 every time you went to Starbucks and you're someone who goes to Starbucks 5 days a week. If you cut that back to 2 times a week, that's an additional $18 a week that you're able to save. Create a little game for yourself. Take the $6 that you would have spent at Starbucks and just put it in a jar. After a few months, you'll have a few $100s saved there. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, over time, it all adds up. Another thing that you might have happen in your situation is maybe you'll come into a windfall. Windfall might be like a tax refund. Maybe you get a bonus at work or you get paid a commission at work above and beyond your salary. These are all things that would be, like I said, considered more like a windfall. Take those monies, immediately put it to the savings. Don't even think about splurging on other things. And the only time that you might not want to do that is if you have, let's say, for example, you have some credit card debt or other high interest debt. And so you want to eliminate that first before putting it all into savings. So in other words, you come across a windfall, you have a windfall, take that money, apply towards that debt, get rid of that debt. Because once that debt's gone, now whatever you've been saving in, credit card, for example, all that money can go directly into your savings and build your savings. But while you're paying that high interest, really, it takes a long time to get it paid down. So if you get big chunks like that's good. A good piece of advice is to just apply it directly to that debt. So listen, I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please do me a favor and subscribe to our page here. We're always here to assist. Please feel free to call us or text us to set that consultation I talked about at the beginning of the video. And you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.